Hello! Today, everything's red because of Daddario. I don't know how to say that. So, they have these pedal boards. You've probably seen them, they're called the expand pedal boards. Why? Because, I mean, short, you unclip it, and then it's longer. You can expand it. Duh. So, when they first came out, actually, before they came out, a rep from Daddario came over, we talked, we're friends, and he told me, oh, these are coming out, and that's the concept. I'm like, that's cool. I've been waiting for someone to do a modular / expandable pedal board for a long time. And then he told me how much they were, and I was like, but especially with the case, which is not cheap, I said, you could really buy a pedal train board and then sell that, and then buy a bigger one, and then, or actually own both and not spend more money. So we never got into me checking them out back in the day. And then I went to a trade show in Italy and I saw them with my own eyes. And I was like, whoa, this is different. This is really high quality. This is a good concept. This is well done. And the cases are fantastic, above the competition. And then I said, let me please review it, which I did. And I've been using them since then. We had them on the island. So, we went to an island and had pedal boards there. And they said, hey, can you do something and show different kind of FLYRIGs and the possibilities? And that is really the thing. It's not you have a pedal board of a certain size and a different size, and then you use one or the other, because you would have to completely disassemble everything, rebuild the board for a gig where you need something else, and then take that apart again. Here, you are tailoring the board with your basic setup around what you need for the gig, and that is really brilliant. I love the packaging they've done. I love everything. Let's talk about the case for a second. It is as big as it needs to be for a fully expanded board, right? So in here, there's another one in here. It's not really fully expanded. And these dividers, you can actually change to the length of the board you have currently, giving you space for other stuff if it's not fully expanded. But it would have the fully expanded size. This is massively padded. This is a very, very secure case. I would say that's on the level of what mono cases are doing. Rubberized at the bottom, and you have extra space here for cables and spare parts, and there's also a shoulder strap. Yeah, the case is not cheap, but you want that for the board because it will fit in any size. Now, I do have a big one. And I actually haven't looked at that in a while. I just did right before the video. I took some pedals off, and it's heavy, but I'm not worried that anything will break. This is a massively big-ass board. And the dividers, because the board's pretty extended, are in here now, right? So I don't need the dividers because I have the board extended. And that makes it a rather big-ass board. So it's not fully populated at the moment because I had to take some pedals off for other videos. But that's what it looks like. Got the plethora there, Thermi, Freak Out, Ricochet, Tone. That's where my Tone Recall is. I've been looking for these pedals. Got a pedal switcher here. And clearly there were 3 more pedals on this board. At the bottom, that's why my power supplies are. There's a Chox DC7 on this side, daisy chained to a Chox 8 on that side, powering the whole board. But if I needed to change that board, I'm not buying a new case, I'm not buying a new board. All I'm doing is, I'll reduce these pedals, push it a bit closer, Bob's your uncle, you've modified your board. It is, I think, a very, very clever solution, and they've done it in a quality that's very high. And oh, by the way, there are these risers up here, which you can also get. So you can see these pedals are higher, so I can stomp on them. You can also get these, and they're also Velcro on. But let's talk about FLYRIGs. These are these short, small, flyable rigs. Don't know if this is airplane luggage allowed in terms of height. I don't know. So You can fly with a rig. Let's assume, I don't actually know about this. Let's say you could. And then you fly to a gig. You've got an amp type thing, maybe a pedalboard amp. You've got a modeler, some effects, tuner, everything you need to play the gig, but you're not bringing an amp and cabs and all that. You're flying there. It's a fly rig. So let's put together one of those boards and I'll show you how it comes, because they're all disassembled. And when you assemble it, that's when you see how really brilliantly well manufactured these boards are.
Got my setup tight, my tones on lock. Oh yeah! Daddario board, it'll rock my sock. Say what? Long or short, it's all so clean. Flexing heavy, it's the gig machine. Long or short, hey, it gets it done. Pedal board game, second to none. Oh snap! Snap those cables, solderless flow. Bag it up tight, take it to the show. High quality vibes, it's built to last. Handles my setup, slow or fast. Oh yeah! Stored in a bag, it's matching too. On the road or stage, it's all brand new. Long or short, hey, it gets it done. Woo! Pedal flex vibes #1. No. Cables connect with an easy pop. Keep the groove steady, never gonna stop. Whether you're chill or laying it loud, oh, wow, this board performs, makes you proud. Say what now? Flex it right, make your sound expand.
And before we go really into populating that board, for full disclosure and reference, I do use them. Because this, you've seen this in many, many, many amplifier videos, is my board that I use when I review amps. Tuner, tube screamer, clone type pedal. The power supply is on top here because, well, it wouldn't fit underneath. Not this one. The 4 would, which we will see. I've got a delay and a looper so that I can loop something into the amp to go into the other room and get levels. So this is tailor-made for what I need for amplifier videos. However, if I needed to put something else on there, you can see I still have, actually can't see because it's in there, I still have a little bit that I can expand and I could put another pedal on there. That's the brilliance of these things. I'll show you how to put a whole bunch of different fly rigs on there and adjust it rather quickly. And also how to go battery powered if you need it. I'm going to use the canvas. I could also use chocks because those are small enough the chocks 4 will fit and can also be battery powered. I mean, I could, you know what, why not? Why don't I just show you on the chocks? I happen to have another Daddario Expand board here with the chocks 4 underneath, but the canvas from, what's it called, Walrus Audio would also fit underneath and power those pedals nicely. Good thing here is that can be powered with a power bank, and we're going to try that. I even have a, well, daisy chain pedal here. We're going to use that for the analog pedal and the tuner. And I know that the 4 can do it and is all isolated. So I've got a big ass power bank here, very, very powerful. Plug that in. We have light, and I could potentially fit that under here if I just move that over here. I don't want to put Velcro on my power bank, but yeah, look, that would work like this, and I could still, yep, it's still solid on the ground. Perfect, and that's a massive power bank right there. And all my pedals are on. So now we definitely have power, we've got isolated power, and now if I wanted to, of course, we can use these really, really, I mean, I'm not exaggerating, really good Daddario solderless patch cables, which I absolutely love. They're not cheap, but they're very good because they can be straight and they have a recess and they can be angled. So they're very good. That's too long. Don't have any shorter ones. But if you're buying these, you can of course make them all the right length. You could tuck that there. And bam, there is my FLYRIG board that I can probably power for a few hours at least with this power supply. I power, studio lights with that. So there you go. Tuner, kick-ass overdrive and boost, all the amps you want with some effects, and then even more effects, you're done. But the great thing is, of course, we can change things here. Let's say I don't want this at the end, I need an XLR solution. So we'll just expand it.
Put in pedals on that board. Ooh, yeah. Got my FLYRIG ready, can't be ignored. Daddario expand, it's sleek and it's tight. Set up in seconds, I'm gigging tonight. Putting pedals, stacking them right. Say what?
And we're done. This took 2 minutes. Expanded, put my end game here. Now for my DI solution, I literally have something with 2 XLRs on it, ambience, it can have Bluetooth audio in it. Really, really cool for your FLYRIG solutions because it has a stereo effects loop. I could even put this into the stereo effects loop, which you can turn on and off. There's a lot of things that this can do at the end of your pedal board, right? And this is a great FLYRIG that I then just pump into the case and I'm good to go. And as you can see, you need a different kind of gig. You'll just change things. Let's say I want, this is all good, but I want a Tonex on it. And I don't need the drive. Let's flip it out for a Tonex.
Power supply sparking up my night. Ooh, quick and smooth, I'm out the door. Putting pedals on that board. Let's roar.
Ooh, slide it on. Feel that.
So, I could move my plethora over. What's wiggling? Here, guys. Okay, here we go. Solid. Could move my plethora over, get it to exactly the length that I need to have the end game on the edge there. So, very simple. That's a great FLYRIG if I've ever seen one. We've got, again, the XLR Bluetooth capability, stereo effects loop, which this wouldn't have. So I could literally go in here and have this wired in stereo in here in the effects loop, turn that on and off. Simple, great FLYRIG, and right now, again, battery powered, right? Of course, I also have a power supply for this, all with the really cool patch cables from Daddario. But let's say you want an actual amp on here. Should we do that? Why not? Let's put an actual amp on here. No, actually, yeah, tube preamp into the end game and nothing else, because for metal, what else do you need?
Feel that grip.
Pedal board magic, taking a trip. Voltage flows.
Now, I would need power for this with the external power supply because this is a tube pedal. Now, the Chox 4 can do 12 volt, but not enough milliamps for this behemoth. So you need an extra power supply for that. But come on, that's a metal FLYRIG tuner, all the metal you can possibly have, and then you can add a tube screamer and then go DI out, and this even has power amp simulation in it. Killer. Let's do one more with a actual amp.
It always does. Call and response. Now let me see who's got the rig that's faster than me. Nobody. Plug it, stomp it. The tone is key. Let's go. Put in pedals.
And here we are. You can see, because I got myself a little green plug from Chox, I can even, with a little 4 and a power bank, power the H90. So we've got a tuner, which I would also have in the H90, but it's nice to have in the front. A tuner. This is a full amp where I have the H90 in the effects loop. And this can actually go to a speaker. with I think 100 watt, 100 watt Marshall sounds. This is a full amplifier, killer effects, everything on this FLYRIG that you want. You could even easily put a drive in front of it, like the PXO. We just ripped the Velcro off, so we couldn't put it back on there. And this is all battery powered, except for this, of course, because that needs 48 volt DC, so it needs its own power supply because it's an amplifier. Okay, you can't battery power that. I think this shows a lot of flexibility for the Expand uses.
Putting pedals on that board with ease.
So that should have given you ideas on how to use your rig, what power supply to get. I have to say one more maybe sign of approval. I don't know. But I was at Mark Mancina's studio in Carmel right after NAMM. Now, Mark is a big Hollywood composer. He's done many big action movies, and he's done a lot of Disney movies. Mark could buy anything in the world, financially speaking. I mean, not anything, not like islands and shit. I don't know, maybe he could. But he's an absolute gearhead, and he buys the best of the best. And so when I walked into a studio, there were 3 unpopulated small Expand boards, because he gets it. He buys pedals, he's a nerd, he wants to build these things. He takes something from the studio home, something from home to the studio, and he needs flexibility and high quality. And then I went down into their drum room where I could see a big Expand board. So what does Mark Mancina use? The Daddario Expand. If you are a working musician, the Daddario Expand board, and I say this because I freaking use them, is the way to go. And again, previously said, that's just stupid. And then, wow, I use them now. I have 3 small ones and you're not getting them, they're mine. I'll link below to all the applicable stores. If you want to purchase one, please do so, and you should if you are a gigging musician. And yeah, well, animals at the end.